the SA Sports Show. Thanks for staying with us. Time to turn our attention to the Simpson Cup. And the master of the Simpson Cup, Gary Thompson, joins us. Gaz, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Mate. And we predicted it might be horrible weather down at Victor Harbour last weekend. Apparently it was beautiful down there for the golf.
It's absolutely the best day that I've ever had in Victor Harbour. It was amazing. Walk around in a polo shirt until 5 o'clock.
And then
it was crazy. Then I got halfway home, just through Mount Compass, and it never stopped raining for the rest of the way.
Well, stayed away for the golf, mate. Now, you said last week you thought Kooyonga, who was sitting number one, might get beaten by Tea Tree Gully, and it worked out that way.
Well, yeah, they're sleepers, Tea Tree Gully. They've got a lot of experience. They've got a lot of confidence right now. They're up and about, and now they're on 2.5 wins with, and they play a game that they certainly should win this week. So 3.5, they're right on the cliff's edge to make the semi-finals now. So
and they were promoted, weren't they, Doug? They were promoted.
Yes,
they were from last year.
They've been in A2 for about at least 3 years. So they've really done a fantastic job.
Great job. Yeah.
Just keep. They've always had a lot of depth out there, and they've got like Ben Hallam playing for them. Brett Crosby's come back to play. Ex-state golfers, like still good got players. A really good game and experience.
And they're serious, aren't they?
And it's working well for them. And they're up and about. They're really keen.
But they're a club they're a very serious club. If a lot of teams will come up and virtually go straight back again. It happens a fair bit. They're pretty serious about staying in, and not only staying in, but they could make it now.
My word, and the whole club is just absolutely thriving at present. COVID's been, as we've spoken about, it's just been so good for golf. All clubs have just got waiting lists again. There's so many players playing, but they got something like 300 playing on their course every day. But they wouldn't have been yesterday. They had apparently they had 77 mil on Sunday night, and of course there's a couple of bunkers have collapsed. There was like creeks running across the fairway out of nowhere. I've got some photos of, like, you wouldn't believe the damage that's happened last night. Not last night, Sunday night.
Sure.
So,
And how long does that roughly take to kind of get the greens up to scratch again?
Well, hopefully the greens, unless they had hail, the greens should be fine. But the preparation to get the bunkers and the fairways back, I mean, you can get around that on fairways because you just make it like preferred lie or ground under repair where they can have a free drop. But some of the bunkering that had collapsed, that can take ages to get resettled. Well,
it's going to be a big weekend at the Vines, of course, this weekend. We moved down to the Vines, mate. So my spy here at the end of the desk tells me, Glenelg, your teammate, up against the Vines. A little bit of rivalry here. Well, boys, what are you predicting?
It's got to... Well, I'm not making any prediction on this game. Only the fact that either side has to win. Otherwise, the rest of the year is going to be an absolute grind to have any chance of making the semi-final. So it's really come down to the crunch. We certainly weren't looking forward to playing the Vines at the Vines for a crunch game, but I was really pleased with our guys this week. Last Sunday, I thought it's the best we've played all year. I just hope they can bring that again to the Vines. And the Vines were going to be up and about because that wasn't... they've had a couple of losses that maybe they'd cop one, but they weren't expecting two. So because what they did last year and some recruiting they did, they really looked like they were going to be one of these sides. So we'd like to... I'd like to come out on top, but no predictions.
And I'll be walking around with Darkie. I'll be there Sunday because I think he's a bit dodgy. I think I'll keep an eye on him. See what he's doing. The other big game, mate, obviously is Cooey and RA.
Well, for top spot, that would cement... whoever wins that game obviously cement their spot in the semi-finals. Look, once again, like Royal have recruited well. Kooyonga was such a bit of a surprise last week because they got Joe Hodgson back from America, and they got one of their state players on Joel Durnford. He was unavailable the week before. They bring him in. Now, who knows whether just the side was slightly unsettled. But like in this game, it's only 7 games, and you only need a couple of guys just a little off, and a couple of guys you're playing against having a really good day, and you'd lost your 4 matches, and it's all over.
That's exactly what happened to the Vines on the weekend. That's exactly what happened to them.
A
couple of blokes who were down.
It takes no time, you know, and such a short season. I mean, I'm sure the players would like that it went for longer.
Yeah.
Even 6 teams and home and away, and you'd sort of sort it out. But it's very short as it is, and it's cutthroat.
Big weekend, mate.
As we'll find out.
Big weekend.
It is a big weekend, mate. Simpson Cup, it is going to be an absolute beauty. You want to get down to the Vines and have a look. Hopefully you two blokes can keep you scuffling away from the golf course and we can focus on the golf. Stay with us. Still, more to come.